Good morning. So, it must have been about maybe 2 months ago that I posted a video and I said that I'd be recording on a regular basis, posting on a regular basis, and just putting myself out there more visually. I I haven't done as many videos as I was planning to, but as you see, I kind of got started with the pictures. I figured, why not put out pictures of me with my quilt instead of just making them all, solid colors. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I thought I could add more depth to it. So, been posting the pictures. If you've been keeping up, you see that. Posting a lot of pictures, sometimes as many as maybe like 60 pictures in a day. I think one time I posted about 70. So, a lot of pictures. A lot of pictures. And now it's time to get started on videos. See, the thing for me is I don't necessarily have special stuff to post as far as my videos. So it'll probably just be a lot of regular videos like this one. Just me saying good morning, asking everybody how their day has been. You can probably respond. I think most social media platforms, I think all my stuff is set to where you can respond to it. So, I might set it up that way if it isn't. And, I just want to talk to you guys more, show myself more, and also, to an extent, this is practice for me because I have a lot of performance anxiety, not just for, videos like this, in general, in person. And it's actually heightened more the the better I know you or the more you mean to me because there's a deeper connection there. For a stranger, I might not really care about how I perform in front of them because they don't really hold any weight in my life and in my heart, so essentially they don't mean anything to me. I see a random person, I'm not necessarily going to feel obligated to show them, all the intricacies of who I am, whatever intricacies I have, because I don't know anything about them. I don't know who this person is and why I should be showing them, not, I won't say why I should be showing them my best performance. I think no matter how much of myself I show to anyone, I should be showing them the best that I can. But the thing is, for a stranger, I might show them, let's say on a scale of, 1 to 10. I might show them, a 2 or 3, level 2, Phillip, level 3. But for someone I know, basically, you're always going to get level 10. I always want you to get level 10 because the thing is, you mean that much to me. But because you mean so much, I tend to get more worried about, making mistakes, stumbling over my words. If I stumble over my words with someone, let's say at a fast food restaurant, it's just the guy at the window. I mean, that's really, that's all you are. You're just the guy that took my order. That's it. But if you're, let's say, a childhood friend, it's like, man, this is my childhood friend, even though I'm new, improved, even though I've been growing over the years. It's like, this is my boy, that's my girl. So I want you to see the best me. So if I stumble over the word, it's like, man, my boy heard me, trip over my words, heard me croak, whatever, had to clear my throat. Those are the kind of things that bother me. It's little stuff, but for me, it's a big deal. So, I can't say I necessarily get butterflies. I would say I get more like, I'll say knots. And I get a lot of tension. That's a better way to say it. I get a lot of tension in my body because for me, that's those few seconds just before you go out there and you do it. Just before you go out there and show everybody, what you're all about, your presentation, whatever it is, that speech. That for me, when I'm with someone that I really care about, someone who means a lot to me, it could be, parents, siblings, close friend, uh, longtime acquaintance. Basically, the greater the connection that we have, or the more I feel about you personally, the more important my performance is in front of you. Even if it's just saying hi, things like that. Usually with small talk, I don't have a problem. But when it goes beyond that, that's when I get caught up in my head. That's when the anxiety starts to come. So for me, the videos will be, simply to, put myself out there, interact more. But gradually, what I'm hoping to do is get better. So to a certain extent, you will be the same, if you're you, unless you're just constantly changing who you are all the time. There will be, certain things about you that are the same. But essentially, what I want to do over time with the videos is grow into a better version of myself. So I want my character to expand, pretty much. And I'm starting to figure out better ways to do some of the things that I've done over the years. And then also finding out what fits me personally. So, one thing I did with wrestling is just trying to figure out my pre-match routine, trying to figure out what accessories I like. So right here, I'm actually, clocking out at work security, but I'm wearing these arm sleeves. I don't know how visible that is to you. It is early in the morning. It's almost 5 a.m. in the morning. But I have these arm sleeves, and I like to wear them for work. Not necessarily to posture for other people, but it kind of makes my uniform feel complete to me. And also, I got them solely for wrestling. I kept trying to figure out, do I want an arm sleeve on my left arm? Do I want an arm sleeve on my right arm? Do I want no arm sleeves? And eventually I thought about it and I said, you know what? I want an arm sleeve on both. So, found a pair, decent, black. I actually want a white pair too. I like black better because black is my favorite color. But I honestly want a white pair. I think white would be a nice contrast. And I'm thinking about picking up a white mawashi. So I might go, black mawashi, white arm sleeves, and then, white mawashi, black arm sleeves, that sort of thing. Right now, a lot of you may have noticed, if you just started following me from the US Sumo Open, then, you saw me with the mohawk first. And then my third competition, which was 2019 this year, the year I really sucked, you saw that I had short hair, no mohawk. And right now, I'm pretty much keeping it, I guess they call it close shaven. So not completely bald, but close to it. So I've been thinking about it and just, going over different looks in my head, different looks I've had, because I've had a lot. If you've seen me all my life, you know that growing up, the main hairstyle I wore was an afro. That was the main thing. At one point I had a ducktail, and then, I started wearing mohawks when I was 9. Mohawk being my favorite hairstyle, by the way. I don't actually like short hair, generally speaking. Um, Partly because I used to get my hair cut as a punishment. So I I kind of have a problem with razors in the back of my head because my parents couldn't really find too many non-physical punishments that I actually cared about, but my hair meant a lot to me. So that always worked. So I've always had a problem with short hair, partly for that reason, and then also because I never really thought I looked my best with short hair. Not in terms of looking good. I always thought it looked good, but I never felt like I was 100% in my own eyes. You know, other people were always saying, "Oh, your hair looks so nice," but I didn't have that self-confidence. I didn't have that same confidence in myself. So right now, I think for the past month, I've had, close shaven hair, and I'm actually considering keeping it like this for good because I think it's gotten over better than I anticipated. Um, Other people seem to like it. I like it. And I don't think I've felt this good about myself as a whole ever. And if I did, then it was a long time ago. So, honestly, you know, the videos, I I started off, I think I posted one video in 2018 after practice, when I was trying to go to nationals, and which I've never been. You know, different things come up. Some things more important, other circumstances just unfortunate. Haven't been able to make it. But when I made that video, what you guys saw a very nervous Phillip, talking about going to nationals, fundraising, and I think I set it up to where you couldn't really see too much behind me. I sat down on my bag and I recorded that video maybe about 20 times. And then I finally looked at it and I said, you know what? All of them suck. I'm just going to post this one. So I finally posted one. And that was the one you guys saw. You know, I had my mohawk. I was wearing a black tank top and I had my shades on. And appearance-wise, I felt good. But performance-wise, at least talking, my cadence, even now it needs work. But I was so nervous. You know, my chest was tightening up. You can probably hear that I was speaking very slowly. And my wording wasn't crude, but there was more forcefulness in my voice than usual. I've noticed that even when I try to speak softly, generally speaking, I have a very forceful voice. My big brother says I need to learn how to speak with a higher tone sometimes. Take some of the bass and baritone out. That way I can speak softer, which makes sense. I've come across that in, different vocal training and things like that. In my acting classes, we were learning about that. Adding to and taking away from your voice. And I've heard that from my sisters going over different, vocal training for singing. So it makes sense. Different things I'll have to practice and, perfect who I am overall and then to my liking. But I think starting from this point, I'm going to have a lot more videos. Like I said, not necessarily special videos, just more footage of me in general, because I haven't done the best job of showing myself and showing people who I am, who I want to be, and I have trouble expressing myself, which a lot of you have noticed, especially at the competition. Because for me, I know especially this year, 2019, I actually noticed the crowd a lot more than usual, even to the point of hearing different people clearly while I was wrestling, which is something I don't normally do. I actually have trouble hearing what people say when I'm sparring or when I'm actually competing. And, as early as, 18, when I started sparring in boxing, I don't normally hear what people say in the sense that I can understand it. I can't normally understand what people are saying to me. So if you say, hey, put your hands up, this and that, I don't normally hear that. So I've actually heard more of what my coaches said looking at recordings of practice than I heard during practice. But this year, I think with a lot of personal challenges that I had and with my injuries, I think it just opened, I think it made me susceptible to a bad mindset, and I didn't get out of that before I competed. So I heard a lot while I was wrestling, actually. And I can't say the outcome would have been different, but I know when I was wrestling Nyambayar, it was a fairly long match. It was 2 minutes. But in my honest opinion, it should have been 3 minutes. I'll just say it like that. And I'll have that on another video. I'm going to make some reaction videos sometime soon. I won't say exactly when. But looking back, I think that match should have been about 3 minutes. The reason why is because I started hearing fans saying, oh, you're not doing anything. But the thing is, I'm the wrestler. I'm the one that's actually up there. And I still have a problem with feeling out what I'm doing when I wrestle. I can feel things out pretty well when I'm boxing, but with wrestling, there's still a lot of thinking going on. And thinking is not necessarily the problem. It's being able to adapt and feel what I should do next or feel what my opponent's trying to do next. And I don't quite have that down yet. But even still, I think if I had taken my time and, held out against Nyambayar just a little bit longer, I think maybe I could have pulled something off, or at least given him a harder time beating me. Because he did bide his time. I won't say he was necessarily afraid of what I was going to do, but he did feel that with my strength, even though his technique was way better than mine, I noticed that he didn't make a hasty move. And so what he did was basically he waited out until I made a mistake. And I feel like I should have done the same thing, because I didn't do that. What I did was I heard the crowd. I was in a bad headspace. I let different people get to me, and then I rushed. No matter how good you are, you shouldn't rush. No matter how bad you are, you shouldn't rush. So, even though I was injured, even though he was the better opponent, I should have taken more time, and I think that match probably would have been, maybe 3.5 minutes. And I think I might have had a chance to win. I definitely saw one area where I could have thrown him, not just in theory. I did have the skill to throw him. And I also saw an opening for Kotenage, which is an arm lock throw. And I did none of that. So, you have different workers coming in right now. So I'd say that in the future, especially with practice coming up, I'm looking forward to feeling more when I wrestle, uh, thinking less, feeling more, thinking less, and being more fluid in my, I won't say my attack, being more fluid, period. Because I think I can be a much smoother wrestler, regardless of whether or not I'm focusing on strength or technique. I have a lot of strength. I have certain techniques that I've gotten down. But honestly, for me, technique is, it's not the hardest thing, but one of the biggest issues I have is with leverage. It takes a lot of strength for me to use good leverage against a short opponent, especially someone like, let's say, my coach Takeshi. When I'm using good leverage and my hips are low, his hips are so much lower than mine. He's so much shorter than me. He can relax. If you look at my match against Bobatar, 2018, you see that when I was low, when I was in a good position, his legs were practically completely straight. He was, with the exception of his upper body, he was practically standing straight up. He didn't get into a low position until he attacked. That was the only time he got into a low position. So, for me, leverage is a big issue because leverage takes all of my strength, all of my lower body strength. So, that's one of the things I've been working on, is a lot of leverage training. And I think with that alone, it'll make it easier for me to grasp and utilize different techniques. So I'm still looking forward to getting stronger. I'm still training to get stronger, but I think with better technique and more confidence, which I have now, and actually being able to utilize that, learning what triggers me and being able to get over it, I think that regardless of outcome, I'm looking forward to better sumo and better life in general from here on out. So that's one of the main things I want to show you guys. I want to show you guys my growth. It's not about fame, because I'm not famous. I can't say I ever will be. And for me personally, I've always felt that not too many people care about what I have to say and show. And it's easy for someone who supports me to say, a lot of people care. But, think about all the people you have in the world. All the people you have in the world. And then look at my followers. For my private Instagram page, it's only about 400 of you. For my public Instagram page, it's only about 100. So when I'm showing these videos, yes, it is public, and it would be nice to have other people pay attention to it. And every now and then I get a new follower, but basically this is for you few hundred that are actually watching. The few people that pay attention, I'm showing you my growth, because I could keep it to myself. I don't have to show you. But since I'm putting it out there, I want you few people to see how I'm growing, and just even maintenance. Even if I didn't grow for the next 3 years, but if I maintained all the growth that I've gotten up to date, I want you guys to see that, see how I'm living, success, failures, struggles, and I want you guys to be encouraged and also to encourage me, because whether I agree with what you say or not, I actually get a lot of new knowledge, wisdom, and understanding simply from listening to other people and having them give me their opinion, So this is me interacting with you more and showing you future growth and hopefully some mutual growth, that word sounds weird. I want us to grow together. That's one of the biggest things for me. I kind of don't like the idea of removing people from your life, in the sense that yes, you take on characteristics of those that are around you. For me, I've never really been a fan of removing people from my life. I've always been a fan of trying to make myself so much better that I rub off on them, that they all become like me, and then eventually I can feed off of their good character. You know, I've always felt like instead of people cutting me off, maybe they could have shown me how to be better, and then they could have fed off of that. Because you have to think like this: everyone has to learn from somewhere. Everyone has to be shown by someone. It's easy to cut someone off because they're hindering you, but it's not so easy to be the good example and to prevent yourself from being hindered, to take care of yourself and then take care of them too, so they can stop hindering you, themselves, and everyone else. It's not easy to do that because that takes a lot of work. It's not just you working on you, it's you working on a million other people, being a leader. And to be a leader, that's one of the hardest jobs out there. And one of the first things you do as a leader is understand that you don't know it all. And a leader has to follow someone first. So for you to learn, grow, understand that you don't have all the answers, and then think about how you feel when you get left behind, when you get cut off, when people don't help you, you have to put all of that together. And then because of that, when you start acting like a leader, now your conscience won't allow you to just cut so-and-so off. See, when you're not trying to be that leader, when you're not trying to be the best leader that you can be, it's easy to cut someone off because you're not claiming them as your responsibility. But when you make yourself responsible for helping everyone around you grow, then basically what you do is you moderate your interaction with them. You say, okay, these people aren't really growing. They're not really contributing anything to help with my growth. They're feeding me garbage. Then you start putting a limiter on it. If you know that 3 times out of the week, if you know Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, they don't have anything substantial to say to you, then obviously you don't talk to them Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But at some point in time, if you want to see them grow, and you're the person in their life that's able to help them grow, you're going to have to step up and just show your character, have your good character, and put it out there so hard to where they start acting like you. Because one thing you have to understand is, while you start to take on the characteristics of those around you, that's your choice. So after a while, you have to start owning up to your own actions. You have to start being careful with what you take on as your characteristics. A lot of you have no idea the kind of people I've hung out around. You can't tell by my character. Because I'm me and they're them. There's certain things we both do. There's a lot of things I've told them. I'm not doing that. I'll hang out with you if you're not doing anything that can get me in trouble, but I'm not doing this and that. If you want to do it, that's fine. But I've got my way, you've got yours. At some point in time, you have to own up for your characteristics. Because if you saw all the people I hung out with, and that I do hang out with, you would be wondering why I don't act like them. Not even in secret. At a certain point in time, you have to become firmer in who you are and who you're trying to be. And then try to help other people take on the good parts of you and the good parts you're trying to get so that you can grow together. So this is me trying to show you a good version of myself trying to show you my growth. Maybe I can give you something to help you grow, and we can grow together. Despite our differences and disagreements, we can all grow together. So that's one of my biggest goals with these videos, and you'll be seeing a lot of that soon. Take care.